wanted to show him, hey, I want to be here with you and for you. Not only, what, he signed for 4 years? I've got 4 years left on my contract. He's tied directly to my future. So let's go be the best that we can in these next 4 years. I like that. Anybody else? No? Bro?
I do. I like that Dak was there. Some might say, well, he had to be there. He was there for McCarthy or whatever. But I like this. I'm sure that made Brian Schottenheimer feel great. And if I'm Dak, I bet Dak is overjoyed. Dak is thinking, I know his system. I know this guy. I've worked closely with him. I don't have to change anything. I had the best season of my career under him. That's the only time 2 years ago when Dak finished second in the MVP race that he was even in the discussion for MVP. Mm-hmm. So he's excited, and I get it. He's with a guy he's comfortable with. Here's the thing. In all my years covering the NBA, there were times when I covered a team and the assistant coach became the interim coach, and then everybody loved him and he became the head coach, and all the players were excited because they were comfortable with him because they remember when he was just the assistant coach and they loved him, and it didn't work. I mean, sometimes you can be too comfortable with a guy. So I wonder, not only Dak, but Mike, and I get it, he was on the offensive side of the ball, but are these guys, these stars, they got some stars, despite the 7-win season, are they going to treat him like a head coach and respect him like a head coach? I'm not saying they definitely won't. I'm just saying sometimes the guy you want, because you love him, you're comfortable with him, he's not going to chew you out and all that stuff, might not be the guy you need.
Yeah, the comfort part is a little challenging because anytime you have familiarity, you come with a level of comfort, and there creeps in, and there's an opportunity for entitlement to creep in. Like, you'd be set in your ways of, this is what I do. What do you mean we're going to change things? That's my issue with this for the Cowboys. I know you're Mr. Continuity.
Yeah, I thought I was.
You don't like a drastic change. And I'm not saying that the Cowboys needed a drastic change, but they needed a change. And we're about to see the same thing. Dak is going, I don't think any one of us doubts Dak is going to have success. They're gonna be great offensively, they're gonna be productive, but what matters, is it just statistically, he's gonna be tied to me, I'm gonna have success, or are we trying to win championships? Because you talk about him all the time, and I just don't know if just the continuity shift is enough. Continuity comes with, you got to develop continuity with anyone you bring in.
So here's the question I would have for you before I even give my opinion, because this is what I've struggled with this. If this was the plan, then why would you not just keep Mike? Like, that's the piece of this that because while even the pro-continuity folks, what's real continuity is bring back, Mike McCarthy. Now, and I'm not trying to play both sides here because I did not think they should bring back Mike McCarthy. But I also did not think it was on the board. They were just going to elevate a guy Mike McCarthy hired on the offensive side of the ball to keep everything going. So that's the part of this that, to me, I don't understand. I don't understand why you would decide to have the seismic shift of we are changing head coaches without any seismic shift. Like, that's the part that to me is illogical about the process. And it also, again, and I want to be careful to not be disrespectful towards the Cowboys process, but I also don't want to give them credit they haven't earned. I just don't think this was 4 weeks ago, they were like, oh yeah, it's going to be Brian Schottenheimer. I don't think 3 weeks ago they knew we're definitely moving on from Mike McCarthy. It feels not necessarily fly by the seat of your pants, but like, we'll figure it out. Like, maybe Mike will be back, maybe he won't. And then Kellen Moore's team's still playing. That's a pain.
It does feel like
it's not a
Eagles'
good process.
Success kind of threw him off.
I really do. No, it's just like with Dak and all the free and CD and all that.
All
stuff.
Of it seems like a bad process, and so I think it's really unfair if a guy has never been a head coach for anyone to get on TV and be like, he's not going to work. Because we are just flatly guessing. And it's also probably unfair if anyone's never been a head coach to be like, that guy's going to be a superstar. Because we are, again, it's educated guessing, but flatly guessing. I just don't think the Cowboys, it feels for the Bears, for all their issues, had a plan, I think, for the last 3 months, and it was Ben Johnson. The Patriots, for good or for bad, had a plan, and it was, we're sticking with Mayo, and then it seems like around week 15-ish, they were like...
I think around week 3.
Okay, well, so it depends on, the reporting you listen to on it, but at some point during the year, they were like, no. Yeah. We are moving on, and it's going to be Mike Vrabel. The Jags, for as awkward as the press conference were so dead set on Liam Cohen. They basically were like, we had a plan that involved Trent Baalke. We will let you fire him and pay you more, whatever it is. I just don't see that with the Cowboys part of this. And so I get Dak. The continuity for Dak is good. And I do think that the Cowboys don't actually need Dak to get significantly better for them to reach their goals. They need everything else to come around. I just think this whole thing seems very mom and pop. And that's maybe who the Cowboys are at this point.
And a part of it has to do with, and I go back to when Stephen Jones talked about evaluating. And we evaluated Mark, and we evaluated Schotty, and we evaluated our offense and all these different things that they evaluated. And it's like they're unwilling to be honest with the evaluation process, or they really believe, kind of like what Micah Parsons alluded to when they lost to the Eagles. It was only 5 plays.
They lost by
we were almost insinuating we're right there. We're like right there.
5 was a lot.
But that's,
even the Bills say 2.
That's kind of the approach that they're taking. If you hire, and again, no knock on Schottenheimer,
right.
But you're basically saying we're right there. We got the quarterback.
Isn't it fair to say they were? Like all the other teams that made coaching changes this year haven't had the level of success that the Cowboys had. So if I was to be Jerry Jones, like, hey, our quarterback got hurt, our star defensive player got hurt, and we had some secondary injuries, and we can't run the ball. So how about this? We make a little tweak, bring in Mike's guy. Mike has gotten a little bit, I don't know, I would have kept Mike, but whatever.
Message gotten stale.
Sure, that little stale.
That has to be the.
So here's the run numbers, Greg. Can't you just draft either bolster your offensive line or draft a running back, a stud running back, since we're in like the year of the running back comeback? Say, this doesn't work. We used to be a good running team. We're not. Everybody in the ranks around 27th, 30th is, not surprising, a bad football team or did not win. And the teams that run the ball were pretty good football teams. Let's focus on the run. Make a little twist at the head coach.
I think that definitely can get you back to where you were. And that, again, was my problem with this from the very beginning. You now reset the expectations entirely where it is, if we win 11 games and lose in the first round of the playoffs, what a step in the right direction. Well, because in order to actually get to use Stephen Jones's exact quote in hand motions, to end the drought, which is 29 years without playing in the game to get to the game, I think being able to run the ball can get them back to where they were. I do think, to Bruce's point, for the last decade, the cultural systemic issues in Dallas needed a culture changer, and they opted against it. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.